If you clicked on this video because you thought I was gonna be ripping on local bands, you came to the right place. I'm going in this episode. I wore my glasses today just to see the lame tactics that bands are trying to use to get by these days. Lighten up a bit. We've all been there. When you're starting out, it's really hard to know the path to take because as you watch the success of other bands, it seems like they blew up overnight. I'm trying to make sure this page blows up, so make sure you hit that subscribe button, like the video if you enjoy the roasting, and leave a comment if you're guilty of any of these things. I'm going to be exposing some of these whack things I used to do before my old bands had any success. So what's happening, fam? Miami here with JST, and this might be one of the cringiest things I used to do. This hurts looking back at it now. What did I think I was going to accomplish by badgering people to come out to shows that obviously had no interest? And the funniest part is when you see these people in real life, you might have a great time with them, but the second they see a message from you, they're like, I imagine this is how people who are in those pyramid schemes must feel when they're trying to get their friends to buy something. And I'm not throwing shade. Hey, if Herbalife, Verb, or those vacuums are your side hustle, do your thing. Just don't ask me about it. I'm not interested. I guess I already went into number one. Don't badger people to go to your shows if they show absolutely no interest. It makes you look kind of desperate and needy. But why? Why do people get so annoyed when you invite them out to your shows? The answer is really simple. You're 100% thinking about yourself because you're only talking to these people when it benefits you. In that message above, did I ever ask that person how they were doing? Did I ever say, hey, you want to hang out or catch a movie? Or how about invite them to a show that I wasn't playing? No, it was always, hey, can you do me a favor? Will you buy tickets for this event? Will you sign up and vote? None of that shows that I have any interest in actually being friends with this person. And this is one of the biggest problems that local bands have, becoming friends with the locals. The bonds you build with these people are what create the word of mouth that travels and actually spreads awareness of you. If you actually interact with these people, they will go to bat for you. And that's definitely something you need these days with how many bands are popping up every millisecond. Let's go to number 2, announcing things before they happen. Big things coming soon. As my friend Fenton McKenty says, he wishes that he had the confidence of a local band saying big things coming soon. I think this all started as a monkey see, monkey do situation. Big bands with great track records will announce they have big things coming soon and people lose their minds. So local bands try the same move and they're astonished when it doesn't work out for them. Here's the hint. You need to actually have big things coming soon to say big things coming soon. I know Facebook likes are just a vanity metric, but if I see a band with less than 5,000 likes saying big things coming soon, I'm pretty likely to just dismiss it as BS. I'm pretty vain, by the way, so feel free to throw a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far. When I see bands posting this and nothing ever happens with them, I lose interest because I now know they're just full of it. They're just trying to string us along because they don't have any new content to give us. Number 3, not supporting your local scene. Tearing each other down so that you can't build together. Being in each other's faces and acting cool, but going behind each other's backs and running your mouth. I want to give a quick shout out to some from my old local scene. Surrender the Dance Floor, you guys were my brothers. We played countless shows together, and when you guys got millions of views of that Just Dance cover, we were spamming it as hard as you were. Forget Tomorrow, you were like our little brothers. Like, I recorded your first album, we did some co-writing together. I always knew that you had it in you. Rest in peace to Dustin because he was one of the coolest people in the world and he was an amazing guitarist and friend. Years since the storm, you always wrote the heaviest breakdowns and went on to leave your mark afterwards. Signal the Escape. I just had Ivan on an episode recently and we weren't the tightest of friends back then, but I knew the words to all of his songs and in my heart of hearts I knew that that band was gonna make it big. Do you see how I talk about the people from the scene I came up in? We talked each other up because we wanted everyone to grow. I'm getting a little emotional even talking about this. Stop tearing your peers down. Stop leaving directly after your set's over. Support each other. Do t-shirt trades. Buy a t-shirt from them if you can. The more popular your scene becomes, the more people come out to local shows. The bigger venues that everyone will be able to play. Number 4, having an ego. We all know that dude in the local band who's hyped at the fact his mom bought every ticket to the Battle of the Band so his band can play with Periphery. I don't think this will happen anymore because the way tour packages are set up these days, but who knows. They always think they're better than every other band. They never want to open a show. They deserve to be the headliner. Funny thing is, playing in the middle of a show is always the best slot. Why don't bands understand this? These bands always get salty when people are at another band's merch table and genuinely makes you wonder why they are even out playing shows in the first place. You'll also find that these bands typically don't have 1,000 fans to their name and rag on popular bands in the genre who don't deserve their spot. Number 5, stop booking useless tours. This is a huge one and a big big money dump for bands. Setting up and booking tours without the possibility of a return of investment. If you can't get the crowd going in your own state, what makes you think you'll be able to do it elsewhere? If you can't sell out a 150 cap venue in your hometown, what hope do you have of doing that on a worldwide scale? I'm spitting some game to you people right now. Here's one of the biggest tips I can possibly give you. Build your Spotify and YouTube presence. Check out the data for where the music's mostly listened to from the analytics. You've now found a way to zero in on your main audience to target where you should travel on a tour route and a higher chance of having people show up if they're aware that you're even playing. And that deserves a completely different episode, but if you guys want that, I'll give it to you. My most notable bands were The Words We Use and Show Me the Skyline. We gained millions of views across platforms. And I was in other bands that could have did this easily as well. We just didn't know the ropes at the time. But yes, stop playing shows that are far away when you have zero reason to do so. The only reason I can find for doing this is if a popular band is playing, you got asked to play, you're getting some sort of guarantee, and you don't care about any financial losses. Hopefully someone in your band can sell merch to make up for it, which brings us to our next point. Number 6, finding the strength of your band members. You might have the best drummer in your entire state, but he can't write songs. A vocalist that writes amazing songs and a bass player that can't even play, but he's great at singing and he has a way with social media. Move the pieces around. Make this puzzle fit. Take the songwriter and have him write some songs to show off that drummer and make him play bass. Take the bass player and move him to the front man, which makes the most sense for a social media identity anyways, and let the drummer stay blissfully unaware, playing rudiments like it's a life or death situation. Why don't bands just play to their strengths? It's not always about what you want to do. It's about what makes sense. Make your band make sense and you might not be a local band forever. Number 7. Setting realistic goals. The biggest issue with local bands is they're awful at planning and looking at the long game. As I mentioned earlier, they see a band rise in popularity and think it happened overnight. What they don't get is there was a mountain to climb. Success doesn't happen out of nowhere 99% of the time. Hard work and dedication are big factors in the growth of a project. Start keeping track of what's happening at shows. How much merch did you sell? Was there a difference in merch sales when one of you was sitting at the booth versus another? Figure out what caused the spike. Set goals for your social media and adjust until you start seeing the growth you want. For example, I'm trying to hit the goal of 50,000 of you wonderful watchers by the end of this year, so please hit that subscribe button if you'd like me to continue educating you and do a random roast every once in a while. Having goals is necessary. It doesn't matter if you fail. That just means you need to adjust and come back even stronger. Come out with a release schedule for your content. Keep people engaged. That's the difference between acting like a local band and acting like a professional. I hope you learned something from this video, even if you're the definition of some of these examples. Don't get upset. Learn from your mistakes. I've made tons of them so that you don't have to. If you're an engineer on the come up, give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. You only have to do it one time. And tap that bell for notifications so when a video drops, you know the location. Until next time, I'm out of here. Mic drop. Except as engineers we know, I would never really drop this thing because it'd get really expensive. Even if it is a piece of shirt. Later.